Bill Wennington getting ready to tip this game off. Last time there was a crowd like this in the Sky Dome, a baseball team was playing, and there are some people sitting way around the corner, and they're going to be watching the game mostly on video today, but they just want to be here to see Michael Jordan. Final meeting of the season, the last time these two teams met back on January 18th. Oliver Miller missed a three-point shot at the buzzer. And Alvin Robertson, Damon Stoudemire, and the Raptors will set it up.
Well, Rod, you know how big a game this is for the Raptors. Alvin Robertson hasn't played in 5 games. Has to be out here on the court to defend the great Michael Jordan.
Robertson had it batted away by Tony Kukoc of the Bulls.
One of the things that has been most impressive about the Chicago Bulls team is their defense. This team can play as good a defense as anybody in the league, and they really have a knack of turning it up on crunch time. But Toronto has had a lot of success, as we talked about, and that's why they have the confidence coming into this game, Rod.
Stoudemire watched by Jordan. Stoudemire baseline, and once again knocked out of bounds by the Bulls.
And that clock will have to be reset to 1 second on the clock. Billy Wennington knocking the ball out of bounds.
What do you do with 1 second left on the shot clock?
Get it up quick. There we go, Oliver.
Jordan to Wennington, stolen by the Raptors. Carlos Rogers gives to Alvin Robertson. Back to Carlos. Look out!
Oh, Carlos Rogers doing what he does best, getting out on the break. And in the last 3 ball games, Rogers has been a major factor for the Raptors, averaging 16 points a game.
He had 24 points against Charlotte, a big win this week for the Raptors.
Very interesting player, Rod. He can do so many things on the court. It's a matter of confidence. And when you talk about doing so many things on the court, Tony Kukoc immediately comes to mind. At 6'10", can handle the ball like a guard, can pass it, can come out and shoot the 3, and also take his man down low and play the inside game.
Stoudemire, crossover, fouled by Bill Wennington as he drove to the basket.
Oh. Billy Wennington may be looking for part of his uniform on that fake by Damon Stoudemire.
The Bulls number 34, Bill.
Get another look at Alvin Robertson. Good job getting the ball in the middle of the court. And Carlos Rogers stretching out high above the rim.
Well, he can do that and more when he gets close to the basket. The main criticism for him has been his shooting ability.
Well, that's the one thing that Carlos Rogers really has to work on. He is a natural small forward in this league with his frame right now. He's starting today at power forward mainly because Sharon Wright's not able to play, and the Chicago Bulls are not a very big team, but to play power forward in this league, he's really going to have to bulk up. And to be a factor at the small forward position, Carlos Rogers has to work on that perimeter shot.
Jordan off. Tracy Murray with the rebound. Gives to Stoudemire. 1 minute and a half gone in this game, and it's 3-2 Raptors.
See how quickly Chicago, as soon as they get that rebound, they'll push the ball up court and attack right away. They also have the ability to play the half-court game if they don't have something immediately in transition.
Ball knocked out of bounds off of Bill Wennington, and the Raptors will take over. We have some misinformation, apparently. We have to correct a score that we've given you already. Vancouver Grizzlies did not beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, so the Grizzlies have now lost 18 straight games.
That's a tough place to play when you're struggling to go into Gun Arena in Cleveland and play one of the top defensive teams in the NBA.
Rogers tipped by Miller, couldn't make it drop, and Scottie Pippen with the numbers. Off to Jordan. Oh, yes.
There's no question about where that ball was going. Scottie Pippen knows where the bread and butter is. Michael Jordan on the wing.
Rogers again underneath. Oh, my.
Carlos Rogers right at Billy Wennington. When Carlos starts off good, Rod, it's a great sign for the Toronto Raptors. He builds up a lot of confidence early and just feeds off of it, as his teammates do.
Pippen lobs into Kukoc, watched by Rogers. Kukoc, Jordan's got it. Shot clock's at 5. Watched by Murray. Michael lets it go. Off the front of the rim and a foul. Tracy Murray.
Michael Jordan playing a little bit. You can see with that one hand just swung it through, and Pippen, I should say Tracy Murray, caught him on the arm. And look at that. Scottie Pippen at 6'10", coming down the court in the middle. A nice bounce pass to Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan shooting 2.
Here they are, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, the most dangerous duet in the NBA.
It's even worse against the Raptors. These two guys have been the major problems for Toronto, averaging 56 points against the Raptors collectively. And Scottie Pippen has been struggling. Finally came back against the New York Knicks after being away for 5 games. Had the ankle problem, tendonitis in the knee. Constantly has a back problem since having surgery years ago. So Scottie Pippen trying to get back into the flow, but realizes, hey, with Dennis Rodman out, I have to be back out here and help the Bulls. One of the things that the Toronto Raptors have had a lot of success with that they will probably hang on and not use until a little bit later in the game is pressure situations against this Chicago team. They've done a real good job of creating an up-tempo and forcing Chicago up the court.
Oliver Miller and the Raptors have come out with a couple of hammer dunks.
But you can see Toronto's not intimidated whatsoever. They know they can play against the Chicago Bulls, and they're coming out right now and attacking them. Oh, Kukoc with the fadeaway.
Tracy Murray underneath with the reverse, and another foul on the Canadian, Bill Wennington.
Tracy Murray taking advantage of the opportunity he's been given by Isaiah Thomas and Brennan Malone of the Toronto Raptors. He's been playing exceptional basketball. Talked about his career high 40 points a week ago against the Denver Nuggets, but he's just been doing so many different things. In the last 7 games, 23 points a game, Rod. So many players wait for that opportunity. He was at Portland, never really got a chance to show what he could do. Went to Houston along with Clyde Drexler in the Valentine's Day trade last year. Never had an opportunity to do his thing. And here's a guy that did not have an opportunity to do what he can do in Toronto as well. John Salley now into the game for Chicago. Signed 2 10-day contracts and was signed for the remainder of the year.
Carlos Rogers with a tip. And John Salley is back in Toronto. He started off the season with regular playing time, saw a lot of bench, very frustrated. It was almost a very bitter feud between Salley and the Raptors, and then he found, can you believe it, playing time with the Chicago Bulls.
And he's thrilled about it. I was talking to John before the game. He said, hey, this is a great opportunity for me. I'm on a great team. Carlos again going strong to the bucket.
Foul on Scottie Pippen.
But for John Salley, when he was here in Toronto, Isaiah expected him to do a lot of things, not just on the court. Isaiah wanted him to basically do what Alvin Robertson has done during this last 5 games where Alvin hasn't played. Isaiah asked him to step back a little bit, give the younger guys a chance. It wasn't just the injury that kept him out of the play. Whereas John Salley didn't really accept that role. He wanted to be a player. On Chicago, he can assume the role he had when he was on the championship Detroit Pistons by getting out there, rebounding, hustling, doing the little things that help a team win. That's when John Salley is best. When he's on an expansion team and he tries to do too much, he loses some of his game.
12-9, Raptors. 4 minutes gone in the opening quarter. At Skydome in Toronto, Rod Black, Leo Rautins, and John McKeechee. Kukoc, Teron Harper. Isolated underneath.
Teams do not have a lot of success trying to post up Damon Stoudemire. Ron Harper at 6'6" has the ability to play in the low post, and Chicago has tried to get Damon down low but have not been effective at it, but that time able to get it to go.
Oliver Miller with some strong work underneath, still has the ball, bounces it off the Bulls' feet, and the Raptors will hang on to it.
Well, heads up play by Oliver Miller, not losing the basketball. Oliver has been playing some excellent basketball for Toronto. He committed himself, so said, I want to do the best I can to help this team win. And here he is, sealing his man down low and getting a nice bucket. Oliver's averaged almost a triple-double in the last 3 games. 11 points, 12 boards, and almost 8 assists.
Still a 3-point Toronto lead. Harper backdoor up Pippen, and he couldn't jam it on the alley-oop attempt. Stoudemire holds up. Down to Rogers, watched by Kukoc. Rogers, nice bounce pass to Alvin Robertson. Michael Jordan wasn't there, and Alvin gets one up on his old buddy.
Oh, excellent pass, and Alvin active offensively. He's not a great shooter, a great scorer. Alvin is a player. He knows where he can get his points. He works hard without the basketball, and he gets the job done.
Alvin Robertson, Michael Jordan, former teammates in the Olympic team, underneath to Tracy Murray. And the Raptors are off and running.
And that's beautiful basketball right there. Unselfish, looking for each other. Oliver Miller showing that outstanding passing ability he has for a big man.
Kukoc blocked by Rogers. Kukoc again. Nice feed into Sally. He's fouled.
Nice pass by Kukoc, getting the ball inside. Sally taking it up strong, going to the basket.
Timeout on the floor. 18-11. Toronto. Brendan Malone's happy. We'll be back with more from Skydome. Stoudemire to Oliver Miller. Backing down Sally. John Sally picks up the foul. Well, it's funny, you know, because Dennis Rodman has apologized to the NBA and the public for his outburst. But Michael Jordan also had something to say about Dennis Rodman afterwards. He said, you know, well, when he comes back, it's up to Phil and us to corral him and control him, because he can be uncontrollable, as Bob Hill and the San Antonio Spurs found out last year.
Exactly, and Dennis Rodman has had model behavior up until this point. And Chicago fans have really warmed up to him. They've respected what he's done. Now Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson are just going to have to let him know that, hey, we need you right now, Dennis. You've done a great job. People have responded to you. Everybody appreciates your play. You have to be on the court and in the right frame of mind to help us win the title.
Oh, that patented Jordan fadeaway jumper from the baseline. Dennis Rodman not in the lineup. As we mentioned off the top, he has been suspended. And the Bulls trail the Raptors 19-13. First quarter action from Skydome. Oliver Miller watched by his old teammate Sally, who stripped him of the ball. Here's Pippen to Kukoc to the basket with the... Oh, and it doesn't go, but he gets it back on the follow.
Well, you have two guys at 6'10" that play like backcourt players. Kukoc and Pippen getting out on a break. They can finish strong. They can handle the basketball, deliver it to each other. Great job of getting out on a break.
Screen by Miller, shot by Stoudemire.
That was a good pick. Damon Stoudemire using the screen and his quickness to get around John Sally, a little late stepping up.
Kukoc couldn't get it into Pippen. Stoudemire. Oh, nice move on Jordan. Stoudemire inside to Rogers, who still has the ball. Keeps his dribble back to Damon, who resets it. Shot clock coming down to 10 seconds. Stoudemire lets it go for three. In and out.
Damon Stoudemire so quick off the dribble, has given Jordan problems defensively. And Pippen off the feed from Michael.
It's a 4-point Toronto lead, under 4.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Scottie Pippen's first basket of the game.
A little earlier, we saw Tracy Murray, who's been playing great offensively, get a steal by fronting Scottie Pippen. And that's one of the areas Tracy Murray's really been working on his game, and that's defensively. He's had trouble with bigger players earlier in the season. They've been working very hard to establish position and use his body.
Stoudemire heaves it as the shot clock expired. Sally will give to Ron Harper. Pippen to Jordan. Jordan spinning baseline. Oh my! Sally with the follow.
Sally doing what he does best. Garbage time. Be around the hoop. Pick up anything that comes off the basket. Play defense and get out and run the court. That's where he's best. That's where he was an integral part of the Detroit Pistons when they won their back-to-back championships.
Miller back to Stoudemire, wide open three. Yeah.
I really got a feeling for Damon Stoudemire at the beginning of the season. He went out in Chicago early in the season. It was the first 5 games of the season. Went out to United Center and played against Michael Jordan. A lot of young rookies would say, hey, this is a tough task. Mike Jordan again with a turnaround. Damon Stoudemire went in there and played great basketball. Was not in awe whatsoever about playing against one of the greatest players ever to put on a uniform.
9 for Jordan so far. Pippen gives to Ron Harper. Tried the jam. Blocked by Robertson, but Tony Kukoc with the chip shot.
And you could see how upset Alvin Robertson was. He makes the block, and he's yelling at Carlos Rogers and his teammates, you have to get back. I can't hold the fort. We have to run and get back every time.
Bulls have pulled within one. 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Stoudemire to Tracy Murray. Wanted to take it, but Pippen is right on him. Bounce pass to Miller. Rogers. Again, they took the shot clock down, but
ball did not hit the rim, so the clock will go off. If that ball would have hit the rim, he would have gotten it off in time to beat the clock.
Another timeout. A 1-point Toronto lead at Skydome. It was just over a year ago that Michael Jordan sent a fax back to the Chicago Bulls with 2 words on it. I'm back.
Number 3, John Tabak, and number 13, Doug
Christie. He was so quick on that turnaround jumper. He gives you that little lean, a little head fake, and it turns back the other way. It's unstoppable. He gets up so quickly on his jump shot. Pippen not able to find the bottom of the net.
24-23 Toronto. 2 minutes left in the opening quarter. Stoudemire screened by Jean Tabak.
2 minutes.
Tabak with a hook shot off the back of the rim. There's Doug Christie in the game for Toronto.
Jean Tabak had a great game in the second meeting between these two teams in Chicago. Had 24 points, 8 boards, 3 assists, and put on a clinic in the third quarter against Chicago's big men.
Stoudemire tried to bounce it into Tabak. It goes off the Bulls, and so Toronto will hang on to the ball. 11 seconds left on the shot clock.
And Chicago is going to get in Steve Kerr to the ball game, replacing Michael Jordan. Steve Kerr is doing an unbelievable job shooting the ball from the outside. How many players can you name in the league that shoot 50% from the field, 51% from outside the three-point line, and 92% from the free throw line?
I don't think too many.
I don't either. Steve Kerr comes in and does the job, much like John Paxton, who's now an assistant coach with the Chicago Bulls, also does some TV radio work for them. John Paxton was the key when the Chicago Bulls won their championships, hitting that open jump shot, spotting up, giving Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen somebody to find when there's pressure defensively. Steve Kerr, much like John Paxton, fills that role exceptionally well.
So with Jordan down, Brendan Malone also rests Alvin Robertson. That shot by Kukoc is off.
Toronto doing a pretty good job of not giving second shot opportunities, and Stoudemire nailing that foul line jumper.
Raptors by 3. A minute left in the opening quarter. Stoudemire has 8. Steve Kerr deadly with the 3-point shot. Sally to Kukoc, wide open, short.
And again, the Chicago Bulls getting fairly good looks, not able to find the bottom of the net. Toronto not giving him another chance.
Stoudemire hands off to Tabak. Nice spin move, and the hook shot by the big guy from Split, Croatia.
Jean Tabak has been playing so well. Very comfortable now in the low post. He has the strength to go in there and bang down low. Runs the court, can get up and down the court with any of the forwards that he plays against. Just a question of believing in himself and taking it strong.
Harper. Kerr works off the screen from the baseline. Kerr bounces into Scottie. Pippen back to Kerr. Shot clock's at 4. They'll have to get it off. Harper to Kukoc. Just before the buzzer, and it's short again. Tony Kukoc misfiring so far. Doug Christie loses it out of bounds.
Tough break for the Raptors. Did a great job defensively. Everybody rotated, covered up, helped out, and then they threw the ball away. And that's one thing the Raptors have been getting a little better at lately, is protecting the basketball, leading the league in turnovers in the last 7 games, only averaging 15 turnovers a game.
So they're going to their bench quickly already. Judd Bushler's in the game for the Bulls, and so is Dickie Simpkins.
Judd Bushler has put in some good minutes. With the clock ticking down here, Chicago has to get up a shot.
3 seconds. Harper, no. So it has to be considered a moral victory so far for the Toronto Raptors. Michael Jordan on the bench, 9 points. Carlos Rogers and David Stoudemire, 8 points apiece for the Raptors, who lead the way 28-23 after 1 quarter. You're watching the NBA on CTV.
Jackson, who I think has done a remarkable job as coach of the Chicago Bulls, keeping all this talent. A lot of people say it's so easy when you have all this talent, Rod, but it's just so difficult to keep all these guys on the same page, heading for the same goal. And the Raptors getting a steal.
Stoudemire stops, handed it to Ron Harper.
Good job by Harper getting back. Never give up on the play. Trail. And he could get it back. And a rare turnover by Steve Kerr.
Phil Jackson, author of Sacred Hoops. He is a Zen follower as well. Tabak with that hook shot that's working today.
Jean Tabak can use that with either hand. He goes up quickly and has good elevation. You're not going to block that shot once he gets set.
Pippen, Bushler penetrates, throws it up rather awkwardly, but it worked, and the Bulls couldn't convert. 6-0 run for the Raptors. Trying to increase on that. It's 30-23.
Chicago Bulls are struggling, not able to make the shots, and only shooting 38% so far in the ballgame.
Carlos Rogers knocked it out of bounds, and he and Ron Harper are having words right now.
Carlos Rogers has to be careful. Gave a little nudge to Ron Harper as he was going out of bounds, and Harper didn't appreciate it too much.
Well, we talk about March Madness that's going on, and by the way, your Orangemen are trailing Kansas right now, but Kentucky and UMass are on their way. What about the March mayhem that's going on in the NBA with so many flagrant fouls and suspensions and fighting, and the NBA wants to crack down on it?
They really do. They've let it be known that there's going to be no more. We're going to look at that little push by Carlos Rogers, and that's something that can get it going. You have to be very careful with that, but the NBA does not tolerate the fights and the other incidents that we've been seeing, so they're going to definitely send the message out throughout the league that, hey, enough's enough.
4 points for Scottie Pippen on the running hook shot. Well, you know, flagrant fouls and suspensions and the such are up 300% from last year. 300%.
There's a lot of people feel that at the start of the season with the replacement officials refereeing the games that a lot of respect for officials were lost then, and it hasn't been quite regained. Christie nails the three-pointer. Now, Doug Christie's been playing with a lot of confidence as well since coming over from the trade. In the trade from the New York Knicks, he's been playing better and better offensively. He's always done a steady job defensively, working hard, active, using his hands and his feet. But the offense is what's coming along. What has impressed Brennan Malone is the fact that he does a lot of different things. Rod plays point guard, big guard, small forward, can shoot it from the outside or go strong to the basket.
Pippen, nice feed underneath to Ron Harper, who dunks it and hangs. It's 33-27.
Pippen ran down the court after that, popped Carlos Rogers, and kind of sent out a message, hey, you leave my man Ron Harper alone there, big fella. You're dealing with a team, not just one of us.
Tabak tries that shot again. The finger roll doesn't go. Here's Scottie Pippen running the floor for the Bulls this time. Kerr stops for three. Yes!
David Stoudemire has to recognize that. Steve Kerr's not looking to take that ball to the basket. He wants to spot up and pull up from behind the arc, and Pippen knows who can hit that shot. Found Kerr. Nothing but net.
A couple of Arizona alums playing there. Stoudemire and Kerr.
Also Bushler.
Tabak ran into his own teammate Doug Christie. Ball on the floor, everybody's scrambling for it. And Carlos Rogers will jump with Judd Bushler.
Great hands by Scottie Pippen getting in on the play. Jean Tabak was trying to gather himself, go for a dunk. Pippen got right in there, knocked the ball loose. That tells you how good the Chicago Bulls team, with Michael Jordan on the bench, Rodman out of the lineup, Longley not able to play, Billy Wannington not feeling good. They're playing with their reserves on the court, and they're doing a good job of taking their time. They move the basketball, they look for each other, they don't rush shots, and give Michael Jordan a chance to catch a breather. Because you know what's going to happen later on, Rod. Regardless of how the game goes, Michael Jordan is the man in the fourth quarter.
Ron Harper, nice block on Stoudemire. Kerr waits to set up the half court. Back to Harper. Bushler to Dickie Simpkins, watched by Tabak. Kerr will even the game, and he does. The most deadly three-point shooter in the NBA.
And that's exactly the same thing that just happened with Stoudemire. Carlos Rogers, you have to read your scouting reports. You want to make Kerr put the ball on the floor, not be able to spot up and just shoot the jump shot.
Tracy Murray, off balance.
Chicago's really concentrating on Murray. He's had some big games, 23 points in the first half the other night.
Carlos Rogers picking up the foul.
Rogers picks up his first foul of the game.
There's Kerr again, and he sets up and bullseye.
You can see Carlos Rogers just sitting back and waiting, and here's the #1 three-point shooter in the NBA at 51% behind the arc. So you have to get up. Spot-up shooters, you have to make them put the ball on the floor because they don't want to do that. They just want to catch and shoot. Here's a guy that doesn't matter how he does it.
Interesting to watch just now. As soon as Jordan went in, Brendan Malone jumped off his chair and made the call to Alvin Robertson, who might even want to consider going over to the Bulls bench and sitting down when Michael sits down.
Well, they're good friends, and they really have a good time off the court. They get together. Michael Jordan came to Toronto. Alvin Robertson and him got together last night. But once they step on the court, both of these guys are fierce competitors, and they go at each other hard. Now we're seeing a little pressure by Chicago. Try to force Toronto with Damon Stoudemire out of the game to handle the basketball.
Doug Christie.
What the Raptors are trying to do here, I should say the Bulls are trying to do, Rod, they're not necessarily looking to steal the basketball. What they want to do is make Toronto eat some time on the clock before they get into their offense. But Tracy Murray able to hit that running jumper on the baseline.
5 points for Tracy Murray. Kerr again for 3. That one won't go. Good rebound by the Bulls. Bushler and Ron Harper doing the job. And
full timeout.
We have a timeout on the floor. Charged to Phil Jackson and the Bulls. 35-35 at Skydome. You're watching the NBA.
Today, Brendan Malone kind of hinted that his teammates would start coming over and maybe doubling down to try to get the ball out of Michael Jordan's hands. But Alvin Robertson, I'll tell you what, Rod, he does as good a job as you can do. He gets right in his face, challenges his shots. The last game here at the Skydome, Michael Jordan hit some shots where he was parallel to the ground, fading away, and he still made the shots. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You want to stop Michael Jordan, don't let him get on the bus.
There he is again. Nothing but net.
And you sit there, you watch a shot like that, you go, why can't you just get up? And that's 11 points for Michael Jordan. The reason you can't is he's so quick to reacting to you. He plays against you. He's going to set you up, and then when you react, when you go one way or the other, he will take it the opposite way every time. He sets you up and then reads you.
Doug Christie over the back on Michael Jordan. Picks up the foul. 37-35, the Bulls in front because of that Jordan fall away. And here's another look.
And also look at how low Michael Jordan is. He keeps his knees bent. He's down low to the ground. And that way he's ready to go up at any time. You have to completely anticipate what he's going to do to even have a chance at blocking that shot.
Good defense by the Raptors. Christie leaves for Murray off the glass.
Murray
Bushler
never got his feet set that time. He has to stop, pull up, and take a good shot.
Jordan fakes the shot. Nice dish. Simpkins can't make it go. Jordan retrieves the ball again. Fresh shot clock, 24 seconds. Double down on Jordan. And a foul.
Alvin Robertson catching Jordan on the elbow that time. Michael Jordan fading away. He gets up so high, but that's the one thing I just mentioned, the fact that he's down low. If young players playing the game of basketball, if they can learn to stay down, most players you find they have a lot of problems because they're vertical, they're standing up straight. That takes away their quickness and their ability to make a move quickly and react well. If you're down low, you can do anything at any time, and that's one of the things that Michael Jordan is so good at. You can see Alvin Robertson, as good a player as he is, saying, hey, I caught him on the elbow. Just got a piece of it. Not enough to really do anything, but the officials were watching. As soon as they saw that shot was falling short, made the call.
That's trouble for the Raptors. 3 personal fouls on Robertson. Damon Stoudemire back in the game. Oliver Miller back in the game. Bill Wennington in the game for the Bulls.
Chicago again showing the full court pressure, trying to get Toronto to eat. Oh, great catch by Damon Stoudemire. That was almost a turnover. The little man did not want to let that ball get away.
Miller to Rogers. Stoudemire, watched by Michael. There's Oliver, wide open, throws it up. Not a very good shot at that point to just kind of toss it up there, but Bill Wennington was underneath.
Billy Wennington, I thought, did a great job of reacting, coming over to challenge that shot. And then Carlos Rogers doing what he should do at 6'10", taking Steve Kerr and getting that rebound, getting another look. Look at that little spin pass by David Stoudemire. And Billy challenging, did a great job of getting up, and Kerr not able to keep Carlos Rogers off the offensive glass.
Lots of confidence now for Carlos Rogers. Go back a few months, Leo, we never would have seen this type of a player.
And he has all the potential in the world. At 6'10", he can run, jump, long arms, very athletic. Just has to start believing in himself and developing that jump shot.
Might have been that game against the Celtics.
Oh, that definitely was a CTV, that the game we had here. He definitely was a confidence booster for Carlos Rogers.
Michael in the air, to Buechler, and Judd Buechler. 2-point effort from Buechler. Stoudemire.
One Wildcat to another. The two Arizona alums trading long-range jumpers.
41-40. Bulls. Kukoc hands off to Kerr. Buechler to Jordan. Watched by Christie. Jordan to Bill Wennington. And Kukoc with the follow. No, that doesn't go, and the Raptors get a break there.
Kukoc had an opportunity to grab that ball and go in strong with it, instead tapping and not able to drop it.
Christie, nice stroke for three.
And that's where Doug Christie is starting to find his game. Roddy's being a little bit, becoming a little bit more comfortable, realizing where his shots come from. He has the ability to shoot that long-range three-pointer. Just has to feel comfortable in the offense.
Kerr with the jumper, two-pointer. Miller to Murray. Buechler with the hack.
He got called for a foul, but you have to appreciate the effort. Judd Buechler sprinted down court to make every effort possible to catch up to Tracy Murray and just let him know you're not going to get an easy one here, big fella. You're going to have to work if you're going to score against the Chicago Bulls.
Tracy Murray to break the tie as Scottie Pippen gets ready to check in.
Tracy Murray has been reading the defense as well himself. He realizes that everybody's concentrating on his outside shot. And what he does a great job of is, one, getting out on the fast break, as we just saw. The other thing, he likes to curl off screens, play a little bit. Instead of just spotting up, he will use the defense, attack the defense off the curls on screens, and he's been doing a great job of getting his shot, especially in transition.
45-43. 4.5 minutes left before halftime. Pippen to Kukoc. Kerr. Again, red hot. Steve Kerr.
And Chicago doing their best. Michael Jordan, Pippen, and Billy Wennington, all three set screens to free up Steve Kerr, taking Damon Stoudemire out of the picture.
Stoudemire for three.
And Damon Stoudemire said, hey, you did it with the screens. I'm taking you straight up. Damon with 14 now. And 5 assists to go along with the 14 points.
Scottie Pippen penetrating. Boy, that's not going in for Scottie today. Christie. Murray launches the three. Yes!
Tracy Murray showing that form on the long-range jumper. A lot of confidence. The Bulls need a little bit of time to talk about it.
The Bulls had regained the lead, but they have lost it again, and it's the Raptors by 5. And Tracy Murray, the gunner for the Raptors, doing what Steve Kerr does for the Bulls. He finds the mark. Next Sunday on CTV, the NBA season continues, and if you thought there was some excitement here today, there will be even more maybe next week. Magic Johnson makes his first appearance in Toronto.
And the Los Angeles Lakers trying to make that, tune themselves up, getting ready for the playoffs. Magic Johnson's had a major impact on that team, helping them keep focused, and now a little problem has arisen on the Lakers.
What's going on there with Cedric Ceballos?
Cedric Ceballos had a little personal problem, was absent from the team, and Magic Johnson's really spoken out against that, saying, hey, we're tuning up right now. We're getting ready for the playoffs. We have to have every single player focused and ready to do what they have to do. And, you know, it's created quite a stir in Los Angeles right now.
Everybody, when the playoffs begin, you have to look at the Seattles and the Utahs and the San Antonios and, of course, the defending champion Rockets. But what about Magic and the Lakers?
Well, this is a team, a very young team, a lot of talent on that team, and Magic could be the glue to keep everybody focused. And right now, if the playoffs were to start today, Houston Rockets may be their first-round opponent. And if Houston's healthy and get everybody back in the lineup, they could be tough. But right now, they're struggling with a lineup of mostly CBA players.
Jordan is short and off the mark. Bill Wennington muscling underneath.
Oliver Miller looking at the official saying, hey, come on now. Billy Wennington nudged him on the back as Oliver went up. But Tracy Murray is the one picking up the foul. And here we get a look at that lineup. If the playoffs were to start today, you can see the Los Angeles Lakers would be matched up against the Houston Rockets. And here's another one I like, Rod. Utah versus Phoenix. If Kevin Johnson is healthy and in the starting backcourt for Phoenix, they could really give Utah a lot of problems.
Well, the East isn't too shabby either. There's some interesting matchups there.
Absolutely. Indiana versus Cleveland. That's a tough matchup for the Pacers. They are a very good potential playoff team, as we talked about last week when we saw them against the Toronto Raptors. They have everything it takes, but Cleveland is going to give them a lot of problems if they are to match up against each other with their slow-down, defensive-oriented game.
They gave the Grizzlies some trouble today. Vancouver's lost 18 straight. Cleveland won today as the Raptors, the ball knocked out of bounds, and Toronto will maintain possession. 7 seconds left on the shot, 3:10 left in the half, and a 4-point Toronto lead.
Randy Brown is in the game now, covering Damon Stoudemire for the Chicago Bulls. Randy Brown came over in a trade from, came over from Sacramento, was signed as a free agent. He's a very good defensive player.
Christie, nice move on Jordan, falls away, and the ball does too, way short.
Now, how come it looks so easy when Michael does it? Yet when somebody else tries it, Jordan gets up and pressures one of the best defensive players in the game.
Because he's Michael.
You know what? A lot of kids watch the NBA. They watch players like Michael Jordan. They see the spectacular. They see the high flying, the palming the ball, the whole bit. What makes Michael Jordan such a great player is he's fundamentally sound, Rod. He does the little things. That's what makes him great.
Carlos Rogers with another hammer down in the first half.
Good job by Damon picking up another assist to find the trailing Rogers.
12 points for Carlos. 6-point lead for the Raptors. Kukoc. Off to Wennington. Soft jumper from the Canadian. Ball batted away. Rogers, nice pass to Tracy Murray.
Excellent pass up court. The Raptors getting out on the break, and that's when they're at their best. The Toronto Raptors love to get out in the open court and force the running game.
12 points for Murray. Kukoc to Jordan. 2 minutes left in the first half.
2 minutes.
Doubling on Jordan. Off to Randy Brown. And the ball knocked out of bounds by the Raptors. And we have another timeout on the floor. And an 8-point Raptor lead. Bill Wennington off the mark. Oliver Miller to Rogers. And it's tea time in Toronto. Tracy Murray. 12 for him. 54-46. Stay with us. Murray off to Stoudemire. Under 2 minutes to go before the halftime buzzer. Stoudemire waits to set it up. One-on-one with Pippen, and he launches the three. Pippen. Touchdown pass.
A great look up court by Randy Brown. As soon as he caught that ball, he knew Pippen was taking off. And here's Tracy Murray.
Oliver Miller. Bounce pass to Rogers. Murray to Rogers. Turnaround. No. 54-48. Just over a minute left. Jordan looked inside for Pippen. Couldn't find him. Brown draws the foul. Gets the bucket and will go to the line.
That's what Randy Brown can do. He can put that ball on the floor, penetrate, pull up and take the shot. And again, we saw that pass he threw out ahead to Scottie Pippen. And defensively, he can get in somebody's face, and that's one of the reasons Chicago Bulls wanted to put him on their rosters. Defensively, he can come in and put a lot of pressure on opposing point guards.
Bulls have pulled within 4.
See right there, Randy Brown got the ball away, not allowing, trying to keep the ball away from Damon Stoudemire and force Doug Christie to bring it up court.
Stoudemire back to Miller. Christie, yes.
Oh, nice pull-up, Jay. Doug Christie putting that ball on the floor and pulling up right at Judd Bushler.
56-51. Bushler nails it.
Judd Bushler for three.
Three-pointer pulls the Bulls within 2. 25 seconds left first half. A disparity of 8 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock. Stoudemire driving, and Randy Brown got a hand on him.
Still see the quickness of Damon Stoudemire. Despite the defensive abilities of Randy Brown, able to get by him. And here Doug Christie, ball on the floor. Great looking form, follow through. That's a key thing. If you can put the ball on the floor, you notice he pushed it out ahead of him. When you're attacking the defense, don't dribble next to you, push it out.
Stoudemire to Miller, off the glass. Oliver has it again. 3 seconds, 2, no!
The score at the half.
Michael Jordan, 13 points. Damon Stoudemire has 14 for the Raptors. 56-54. Toronto with the lead.
One of the things, regardless of what Michael Jordan does the rest of the game, he's most dangerous in the fourth quarter. In that last meeting here at the Skydome, Michael Jordan had 15 of his 38 points in that final quarter. Now, one of the things John McKeechee said is the fact that Chicago is hurting up front, Rod. The front court scoring in the first half, Chicago had 16 and Toronto had 32 points from their front court.
16 points for Damon Stoudemire and a 4-point lead for the Raptors. Harper watched by Stoudemire. Kukoc for 3. Yes.
And Carlos Rogers thought he was held down low under the basket. He couldn't get out to come up on Kukoc, but you have to fight through it. He's too good a shooter to leave wide open.
11 from Kukoc. Miller off the glass. Nice play.
Damon and Oliver Miller love to use that pick and roll. Miller sets the screen and rolls right to the bucket. Damon delivers the rock.
Harper. Jordan with the rebound, wide open. Pippen. Bill Wennington gets it.
Billy Wennington can hit that baseline jumper. He loves to spot up on the wings or right on the short corners along the baseline, and he will make that jump shot. The first game of Rodman's suspension, Chicago Bulls are playing New Jersey, and Billy Wennington hit some key jumpers to finish the game off and help the Bulls.
Miller posts up Wennington. Shot clock's at 5. Stoudemire tried to save it, and it went into the Bulls bench.
Normally, Oliver Miller is a much better passer than that, really letting that ball get away from him. We're also seeing how Toronto, despite doing a real good job with their front court scoring in the first half, really missed Sharon Wright. Sharon Wright was playing great basketball, averaging almost 17 points a game for the Raptors in his 11 games since joining the team from the Philadelphia 76ers, and they really need his low post presence to create more of a half-court game and also give him opportunities to pass out of double teams. And Kukoc again knocking in a jump shot. Tony Kukoc played very well when Scottie Pippen went out with an injury, picking up the slack, raising his numbers up. That's one of the things that make this team successful. The Chicago Bulls, different players rise to the occasion when they have to.
Bulls by 1. Harper all the way to the basket, but he's stripped of the basketball. Chicago will hang on to it. Knocked away by Stoudemire.
You know, Rod, when you talk about great teams and great players, Chicago Bulls, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, they're blue-collar stars. So you get a look at, again, at Harper going to the basket and getting stripped. These guys come to play every single game. They work very hard. They practice hard. And that's one of the reasons they're successful. Michael Jordan, Kukoc again, a one-man wrecking crew here in the third. But if you look at Michael Jordan, he had 2 seasons in his career where he had some problems. One, in 85-86, he only played 18 games due to a problem with his foot. In 94-95, he came back from the retirement. The rest of his career, 8 full seasons, he averaged 81 games a season. That's hard-nosed, tough, grinded-out hoops. Michael Jordan, a blue-collar superstar.
Stoudemire to tie. Yes!
Damon has the ability to freeze the defense. You could see Michael Jordan guarding him, waiting for something to happen, and then all of a sudden, the jumper goes up. And talk about waiting for something to happen. Alvin Robertson had to back off a little bit, not wanting to pick up his fourth, and Jordan just spins down to the bucket.
Damon Stoudemire, 19. Michael Jordan with 15 points in this game.
Damon with the ability to hang on to the basketball with the dribble.
Tony Kukoc with the block. There's Pippen. Easy to the basket. And it's a 4-point lead restored for the Bulls.
Scottie Pippen, although he made that one extending out ahead of the defense, really doesn't look like he's 100% right now. Coming back from several different injuries, he looks like he's just trying to basically be a presence on the court and try to get his rhythm back. He's definitely not the same Scottie Pippen.
Tracy Murray towing the line, was off balance. Carlos Rogers off his hands and out of bounds.
Well, Tracy Murray did a good job of getting Pippen up in the air, was more concerned about staying behind the line than getting his feet straight and squared up for a good balanced jump shot.
Pippen working down on Murray. There's a foul. The basket doesn't go. But Scottie Pippen will go to the line.
And there's where we see Tracy Murray gets in trouble, sometimes guarding a bigger player in the post. Scottie Pippen knows what to do, playing back to the basket. Murray pretty much bailed him out. You watch, Pippen does a good job. Right here, all you want to do is get your hands up in the air, not foul in that situation.
You mentioned Sharon Wright earlier, and he had one of the great lines of the year when Dennis Rodman joined the Bulls. Sharon said, well, they have Superman now. They have Batman, and they have Rodman.
Well, Sharon Wright, he's battled against these Chicago Bulls, and it would have been interesting to see exactly what his presence today would have done on the court.
Bulls by 5. Robertson will wait to give it to Damon to set up the half-court offense.
You can see how quickly the Bulls can start to take the game away from you. They do it on the defensive end, and then offensively they keep coming at you with Damon Stoudemire not wanting to let his team down, and nails the three-pointer.
22 for Mighty Mouse. Jordan baseline again. Oh, ho, ho.
Damon Stoudemire came over to help out and realized, hey, I better get out of the way. This guy's going to throw it. Wow, was that quick.
Don't ever get him mad. Don't get him mad.
The amazing thing is the explosion. 1 minute he's down low with the dribble. Next minute he's a foot over the rim, throwing it down. Michael Jordan.
Murray falling off.
Tracy Murray loves that little fadeaway on the baseline.
6.5 left in the third period. Bulls by 2. Doubling down on Jordan. Still gets it out to Pippen. Shot clock's at 7. Kukoc will have to shoot this. 5. Gets it to Wennington. He knocks it down.
And that's the option you have. You have Jordan that can go one-on-one. Pippen that can go one-on-one. Kukoc can go one-on-one. They can move, create, and who's spotting up? Billy Wennington. If you give him the ball, he'll make that jump shot.
72-68. 6 minutes left. Robertson wanted Tracy Murray to move into the paint. Shot clock at 4. Stoudemire on Harper. He'll have to shoot this. Blocked by Ron Harper.
Ron Harper, excellent defensive player, just waited for Damon, never committed. Waited for Damon to get up and shoot that ball. And Rogers now is going to pick up a foul, slapping Pippen. Going for that shot.
Scottie Pippen will go to the line, and we will go to commercial break because there is a timeout on the floor, and Michael Jordan, Superman, just warming up. Little air time from his airness. 5:49 left, third period. Chicago by 4.
But if you look at the players, and there's numbers today, but you look at the players that are in contention for possibly getting the most improved player. You have George McLeod at Dallas. His improvement is about 9 points a game. Brian Williams with the Los Angeles Clippers, 8.5 points. Greg Anthony at Vancouver, 5.8 points difference, but Tracy Murray doing an outstanding job going from 4.8 last year to 15 a game.
Brendan Malone really relies on his rookie too, Damon Stoudemire, who has now set a new rookie record, 126 3-pointers. The old record, you mentioned Dennis Scott's name, it was set by the Orlando Magic guard back in 1989-90. So Damon Stoudemire, candidate for Rookie of the Year, with a new mark for 3-pointers.
And he's not done yet, Rod. Damon Stoudemire is on pace to be second all-time in assists for a rookie behind Mark Jackson, who plays with the Indiana Pacers. Oliver Miller, the big O, with a roll into the middle. Now, you think about this. The next closest guy in the assist category is the big O, the other big O, Oscar Robertson, who played for Cincinnati back in 1960.
Scottie Pippen on the baseline. And we have a foul underneath, but Scottie Pippen going down, crashing hard after trying the reverse layup.
Carlos Rogers picking up a foul, but we get a look at Oliver Miller into the middle, using his wide body and using his left arm also to shield Billy Wennington to keep him away from getting a piece of the ball.
9 points for Oliver. Ron Harper at the line.
Oliver Miller, 7 points to go along with his 9 points. 7 rebounds to go along with his 9 points. Again, averaging almost a triple-double in the last 3 games. Really committing himself to finishing the season strong. Michael Jordan and Carlos Rogers kind of going at each other a little bit on the side of the free throw line.
Long pass, nice pass underneath for Alvin Roberts. There's Rogers. Oh my.
And how about that? Carlos Rogers muscling under the hoop with Michael Jordan on the free throw is one of the players to sprint down and get an easy bucket. Good hustle by Rogers.
5 minutes left in the quarter, 74-72. Bulls, Pippen wide open, dishes to Wennington. That won't go.
Nice pass by Pippen. Wennington a little too strong on a reverse layup. Now, one of the things, Carlos Rogers jostling with Michael Jordan. Michael's been pretty quiet here, Ron. I don't know if you want to wake him up if you're Carlos Rogers.
Oliver wanted to spin on Wennington, couldn't. Robertson off the foot of Kukoc. Shot clock's at 2. No, off the rim. Pippen. Stoudemire tries to check him. Harper to Michael. Again.
That was a great job by Scottie Pippen when he went after that loose ball. He got his hands on it and got it out to the middle of the court without traveling, because he had Damon Stoudemire chasing it down too, and that's how Jordan ended up getting an easy dunk.
19 points for number 23. Stoudemire crossover to Murray. Into Rogers, elbowed in the head. Ball doesn't go, but Carlos Rogers did draw the foul. Bill Wennington picks it up.
Excellent concentration by Rogers. 1, to hang on to the basketball. Pretty hard hit. And 2, to almost make the play. You see Scottie Pippen right there. Could have traveled. Excellent composure, catching the ball and then getting it up to Harper, who found Michael Jordan.
$15 points for Carlos Rogers. He had a career-high 24 against Charlotte this week.
Again, impressive numbers if you consider he's averaging 6.6 on the season. But in the last 4 games now, 16 a game.
76-73. Michael blocked underneath.
Oh, Oliver Miller saying, get that stuff out of here.
Murray. Robertson, nice hustle. Now, I don't know if Oliver Miller wants to be talking to Michael Jordan that way. Remember in Vancouver a few months ago?
Oh, I remember that. No, you don't want to do that. That was more me putting a little touch on that. Oliver Miller stayed pretty quiet on that. But how about that rebound? Alvin Robertson just jumped over Kukoc, but Kukoc saying, hey, I'll still stick to my jumper here.
The triple there for Tony Kukoc.
And Kukoc is putting up some impressive numbers. 18 points now in the game. Only had 8 at halftime.
Just over 3 minutes. 79-73. Stoudemire baseline. He can't convert it on the other side of the basket. There's Kukoc again. Harper sets it up. Stoudemire comes out to greet Jordan. Scottie Pippen to Wennington again. Familiar spot. Stoudemire to Carlos, to Oliver. Miller looked like he got a finger in the eye.
Miller did a real nice job of following his own miss. That's what you have to do. You have to stay active on the glass.
Miller and Wennington, quite a battle in the post. Miller's calling for a foul, and he got one. There they go. Look out.
Billy Wennington not backing off. Oliver Miller trying to use his body, taking Billy Wennington down low hard. And Billy holding his ground, and that's the 4th foul now on Billy Wennington. You can see Billy just staring down the big O. And here we're going to look at what happened. You see Oliver Miller right there with the left arm coming right across Billy Wennington's face, and Billy just hanging on for the ride, and tempers flaring a little bit.
Billy Wennington back in his homeland. Oliver Miller gets a shot from the Canadian. The Canadian team down by 6. That's 36,131, a new record for Canadian basketball. And I don't know if they count the hotels. I'm not sure if they count that, but it's the biggest crowd in Canadian basketball history. Biggest crowd of the season for the Raptors, and the biggest crowd in the NBA to watch a game this season. And there's the reason, folks.
Michael Jordan, everywhere he goes, the crowds are huge, just waiting to get a glimpse of him doing some of these spectacular things he does on the court.
79-73. Bulls. Under 2.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Tried the pass into Oliver Miller, stolen by Ron Harper. He looks backwards, gives it right to Alvin Robertson. Raptors push the ball up. Stoudemire. Tracy Murray wide open. Lets it go. Yes!
That's a big break for the Raptors. Ron Harper breaking the golden rule. Don't leave your feet to make a pass. Committed, and the Raptors get a 3.
16 for Tracy Murray. Oliver watching his old teammate Sally. Kukoc off the front rim.
So the Raptors continue to bang on the glass and try to push it. Continuously push the ball up court. How about that look? Murray again. Great recognition. Oliver Miller realizes, hey, my man is getting hot. He just knocked in a 3. I'm going to find him and keep that fire going. So many times, Rod, you see teams in situations, a guy hits a jumper or two, and they go away from him. You have to feed the fire and continue to go to the hot hand.
Ron Harper short. Tracy Murray's 2 3-pointers have tied this ball game with a minute left in the 3rd quarter. Stoudemire into the paint. Tabak over his old buddy from Croatia, but Kukoc underneath grabs it. Harper retrieves it.
So Tabak and Kukoc will be getting together shortly after the season to represent Croatia in the Olympics.
Kukoc schooling Tabak that time.
Kukoc has those moves, this finesse moves, the ability to put the ball on the floor, shaking Tabak with ease that time, but Tabak has to take advantage of Kukoc at the offensive end and really muscle him to get his position down low.
7 seconds on the shot clock, 30 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Murray couldn't make it go, and we have a whistle, and we have an offensive foul.
Get another look at Tracy spotting up here right over the outstretched arms of John Sally.
Oliver Miller picking up the foul. Here's one of the key matchups today. Brendan Malone talked about this one, and you'd have to give it to Tracy Murray so far.
Again, Scottie Pippen still not himself, coming back from the injured list, and Tracy Murray playing exceptional basketball for the Toronto Raptors.
1 second differential shot to game clock. Harper way off. There's Michael just before the buzzer. Michael Jordan
At the end of 3 quarters of play,
pulling the ball down and
83-79
putting it back
in
up.
favor of
21
Chicago.
for Kukoc.
That's a great move right there. John Tabak can muscle Tony Kukoc every time down in the post. You could see Kukoc backing away. As soon as Tabak got the ball in, he just went right up at him.
Judd Bushler with the shot that didn't go. Stoudemire trying to pull his Raptors even or even potentially ahead on this trip. Stoudemire stops. All red uniforms underneath.
And that was a tough shot by Damon in a situation. He has a lot of confidence. He feels he can make those shots, but John Tabak had a nice power move. Go back to him. Go back and see if he can take advantage of Tony Kukoc in the post.
Kukoc, that one doesn't go. Kukoc wanted a foul, did not get it. Stoudemire takes it strong to the basket and converts it.
David Stoudemire looking for the foul. Phil Jackson does not like what he sees. Damon penetrating with ease by Steve Kerr. The help wasn't there. And Damon now with 24 points.
Tie ball game again, 83-83. This has been a good one so far for the Toronto Raptors, staying close with the very powerful Chicago Bulls. Kerr, jumper. He's so smooth when he has time.
And if you notice, he does not shoot off balance. He catches it, turns, squares his feet, squares his shoulders, and then releases the basketball, always on balance.
12 points for Steve Kerr. Watching Stoudemire, and Tony Kukoc picks up the foul.
And that's what we're talking about right there. Tabak right back at Kukoc, and Kukoc has the foul. And you see, this is the foul that David was looking for. He thought there was a little bit of a bump by Steve Kerr, and then look at that. Steve Kerr squaring up, picture perfect release, but always on balance. And that's why his percentages are so good when he shoots the basketball.
Tabak to Miller. Doug Christie. Oliver takes it to the basket. Tabak with the follow.
Oh, Tabak doing the job down low. Oliver Miller going to the bucket. The defense goes over to help. He's there picking up the slack.
8 for Jean Tabak. 85-85. 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Kukoc to Bushler. Watched by Murray. There's Steve Kerr and a whistle. And it looks like
it's an offensive
foul.
John Sally moving on the screen here. Watch John Tabak. Tony Kukoc comes over to help out on Oliver Miller. And Tabak with a great follow. And at the other end, Sally with an offensive foul, trying to free up Kerr with a screen.
Stoudemire through the legs of Doug Christie.
That's a tough break. Damon frustrated there. Christie had good position under the basket. Took his eyes off the ball as he was catching it. Carlos Rogers seems to be stretching out his back watching the game.
Low angle there. Raptors almost stole it. Pippen bounces into Sally. The hook shot doesn't go. Tracy Murray gobbles it up off the boards. Stoudemire now. Nice pass to Tabak. And that hook shot rattles the rim but doesn't drop.
That's a good effort anyway. Keep going. That ball should have dropped. Oh, and a hard foul by Jean Tabak.
'86-85 Bulls. Tracy Murray off balance. Tabak again doing a good job. Jean Tabak not intimidated underneath at all.
Jean Tabak loves playing against the Chicago Bulls. A career game at the United Center. 10 points right now, but doing it down low and on the glass. Whenever Jean Tabak plays against a fellow Croatian, European ex-teammate, he has a comfort level and he rises to the occasion.
Kerr, speaking of comfort. Not that time though. Stoudemire.
Tabak owning the glass again.
Miller setting the screen. Kerr works off of it. Underneath, quite a battle. Murray, Tabak. Looking to get open. Stoudemire, shot clock at 6. Penetrating, pumping. Yes!
Damon knows that Steve Kerr's going to have a lot of trouble defending him with his quickness.
89-86. 96 Raptors. Jordan in the game, and wow.
It's about that time, Rod. It's the fourth quarter. Michael Jordan's been quiet.
Michael Jordan, who was a Raptor killer the last time he was in Skydome in the fourth quarter. Stoudemire for three. Yes!
Damon Stoudemire lighting it up when Tracy Murray had his career at franchise high of 40 points. Damon said, hey, you know I'm going to break that, don't you, Tracy?
29 for Damon. Jordan fighting off the checks.
Doug Christie got a piece of that. Great defense, and that's an over and back right there.
There is no whistle. Definitely over and back. Kukoc takes it strong, and the Bulls got away with one.
Michael Jordan threw it back out over the half-court line, and Brennan Malone jumped out at the officials, but no call was made. Tough break for the Raptors. Doug Christie, great job. Actually getting a piece of the ball on Michael Jordan's fadeaway.
Toronto by 2. One-on-one, Stoudemire and Kerr. Sally helps out. Damon inside to DeBach. We've seen that one all day.
Well, right now the defense is focused in for Chicago on helping Steve Kerr. Damon is having his way with the dribble. Everybody's coming over to help out. And Damon recognizing that, finding Jean Tabat.
Coming down to 5.5 minutes left in the fourth. 4-point Toronto lead. Jordan watched by Christie. Michael, back to Steve Kerr. Kerr, jumper.
Oh, tough shot, Steve Kerr. That's the shot you want him to take. Off the dribble, tough shot with defense in his face. But Kerr, being the tough player that he is, able to make that jump shot.
Hey, we got a game here. 94-92.
It'll be interesting to see how long Doug Christie can hold on to Michael Jordan, doing a real good job of keeping MJ under control.
Shot clock's at 3. Stoudemire loses it. Sally brings it back for the Bulls.
Kerr, good hands, poking that ball away from Damon.
Steve Kerr lighting it up again.
I told you at the top, Rod, you look at a situation like that, Steve Kerr able to pull up 17 points right now, picking up where John Paxson left off on the championship run of the old Chicago Bulls.
Damon Stoudemire has tied his career-high 29 points. The Bulls and the Raptors have seesawed back and forth all day, and right now, Chicago leads by 1. Stay with us. We've got an exciting finish ahead. Rocking Skydome, where the Bulls lead the Raptors 95-94. Leo Rounds. The Raptors have had 17 wins this season, some memorable ones, including opening night. The Boston game I think of some dramatic games at the buzzer that they've been able to pull out. But if they can beat the Chicago Bulls, it would be the biggest win of this young franchise.
Absolutely, and Toronto has come so close, Rod. The last game here, a tough 3-point loss. Oliver Miller had a chance to send the game into overtime. Couldn't get the ball to drop, but this would be a remarkable victory for the Toronto Raptors if they can pull this one off. But watch out for this guy, Michael Jordan, 23 points below his season leading average of 30 points a game. You know, he still has something left.
And don't forget Chicago shooting for 70 wins. They would not want to lose to the expansion team. 95-94. Murray sets, got it. Raptors by 1.
Tracy Murray loves that running one-hander. For a lot of guys, you see that shot and you go, hey, that's a bad shot. But for Tracy Murray, he has become very good at the running one-hander. Michael Jordan, that great job.
Jordan with the basket and the foul.
And you could see the experience of Michael Jordan. He's not settling for jump shots right now. He wants the ball down low. You take the ball to the bucket at crunch time. Not only do you get the basket, you get the foul, you get a chance for 3-point play opportunities here, taking Doug Christie down and going up strong.
Judd Bushler back in the game, takes Steve Kerr out of it. Michael Jordan shoots one to convert the 3-point play. Should update March Madness for you. Syracuse going to the Final Four, and my partner right beside me is a nice shade of orange right now.
It's a happy day in Orange Country.
Syracuse
defeating Kansas.
Joining Utah, or joining UMass rather, in Kentucky in the Final Four.
And with maybe a potential Raptor or Grizzly on that team, John Wallace leading the way.
What a game for Wallace the other night against Georgia. We may have a finish like that here today. 98-96. 4 minutes left. Christie knocks it in. Raptors ahead by 1 again.
And give Oliver Miller credit. Oliver Miller could have forced the play down low, tried to get position, couldn't get the shot he wanted, kicked it out to a wide open Doug Christie.
99-98. Jordan. Oh, in and out.
The Raptors doing a good job really pressuring Michael Jordan. The only good look he had is the one where he got down low against Christie. Every other shot he's taken, he's really been pressured heavily.
Oliver. Off the glass. And Phil Jackson wants to talk to his Bulls. Timeout on the floor. Skydome crowd on its feet. 101-98. Toronto leads with 3:14 left in the fourth quarter. We'll be back. Stay with us, everybody. You're watching the NBA on CTV. Well, here we go. 3 minutes left in the game. Jordan.
And that's exactly what Michael Jordan did in the last game here at the Skydome, Rod. Fading away, defense hand in the face, still able to make that jump shot.
Raptors by 1. Miller working on Wennington. Oliver, bad shot there, forced up by Wennington.
Miller looking for the foul, thought he was hit on the elbow, but he really never got set to get a good look at the bucket.
Jordan, tongue hanging out again. Turn it up. Michael turns it on.
And he looked over at the Raptors bench, just gave him the stare that Michael Jordan looked at all too many teams in this league. No, and that's 30 points for Michael Jordan. Toronto, a lot of new faces. Doug Christie on the foul line has only been with the Raptors for a little over a month, so there's not much you can do in this situation except continue to work, continue to play together, and hope that the ball bounces in your direction. Christie doing the right thing, though, taking the ball strong to the basket, down the stretch. Don't just settle for jump shots. Take the ball to the bucket.
Christie matches the number on his sweater. 13 points for the former New York Knick. 103-102 Raptors.
And the Raptors are one of the things they've done very well today. They only have 11 turnovers in the game, Rod. Doing a good job of getting every opportunity. And oh my goodness, Michael Jordan again. And he just came back and ran by the scorer's table and said, ooh, that was a good one.
Alvin Robertson was absolutely in his face. Under 2 minutes.
Alvin just came down and gave him a push and said, you got to be kidding me, Michael.
Robertson, bounce pass to Stoudemire. Murray, left-handed, no, Robertson. Whistle underneath, and it does not count. Referee calling an offensive foul against Toronto. Alvin Robertson looking like it was over the top.
It's a loose ball foul. Alvin Robertson made a great effort to try to get that ball, knocked it away from Pippen, but the official making the call.
Here it is. That ball is off. Another whistle, and once again the Raptors have been whistled for a foul, and they are irate.
Alvin Robertson smiling at Michael Jordan. They have a battle going on right now, and Alvin Robertson got cut trying to keep Michael Jordan away from the play.
Brendan Malone not happy. As you can see, Michael just doing what Michael does best. And later, there they go. Old teammates and friends from the '84 Olympic team. 12 years ago, Alvin Robertson has made his mark for what he does by stealing the basketball. Michael Jordan does all the scoring and lights it up.
Well, one thing about these two guys, Michael Jordan, despite the fact of being a great offensive player, is outstanding defensive player. A lot of people don't realize Alvin Robertson is third all-time in the NBA in steals, and Michael Jordan is trailing him in fourth place.
A 3-point Chicago lead. Under 1.5 left, fourth quarter. Raptors. They were in this situation last time with the Bulls when we were in Skydome. Stoudemire fouled by Michael Jordan.
Damon again looking to penetrate, taking advantage of his quickness, trying to get that ball to the bucket for either a layup or possibly to drop it off. And that's the third foul now on Michael Jordan.
34 today for Jordan. Stoudemire could now surpass his career high 29. He does.
Rod, show you just how devastating Michael Jordan is. 15 points, as we mentioned earlier, in the fourth quarter in the last game here in Toronto. Right now, he had 21 points at the end of the third, and he's up to 34.
Nice rebound by Christie, and this time the whistle is on the Bulls. Christie will go to the line.
Christie is always active defensively and on the glass, looking to make things happen. Has very good quickness, quick hands, quick feet, and is looking to make something happen every time he steps on the court.
Christie will shoot the penalty. 2 free throws would tie this game up again. No. That might be a critical one.
And Doug Christie, normally a 76% free throw shooter.
But there's Stoudemire. Blocked by Jordan. Stoudemire again.
And good job by Damon. Get that ball out. What a block by Michael Jordan. Not only in the offensive end.
Under a minute. Miller. Stoudemire.
Nice pass.
Tie game.
Oh, big time dish. Damon Stoudemire, take it to the bucket. Drop it off for Oliver Miller.
Great feint by Stoudemire. Oliver jams it. 106-106. 35 seconds left in this game. Jordan, watch out for him. There it is again. He does it again.
Alvin Robertson just shaking his head. He goes, I can't do any more than I did. I was all over the man.
36 points for Jordan. How do you stop him? The Raptors will try to find out. Well, that is the ear and the mouth and the face of Oliver Miller. Damon Stoudemire, clock under a minute, ties the ball game against Chicago. Toronto Raptors bench on its feet, and then you could see the solemn look from the Raptors bench when Michael Leo Rounds did that.
When Michael goes 1-on-3 against Christie, Alvin, and Murray trying to stop him. Michael Jordan, 14 of 21, 36 points. And Rod, again, 15 of those in the fourth quarter.
Well, they've been down this road before. The Raptors last time in January. Bulls won 92-89. Raptors couldn't pull it out. Can they do it today? 31.8 left. Murray.
Oh, excellent play. Brendan Malone calling the play, and the Raptors executing perfectly to catch Murray curling to the bucket.
And a timeout from the Bulls, and this place has gone nuts today. The Skydome, huge crowd, and it's more than a game when Michael Jordan plays, Leo. It's an event, but they were on their feet when Tracy Murray, found underneath by Oliver, lobs it in.
Murray doing a great job instead of coming out, curling to the bucket for an easy 2.
We'll be back. Well, there's someone who had a lot of battles with Michael Jordan and won a lot of battles with him, and now his young team might win this battle. Who knows? 26.4 seconds left. 108, Leo.
Well, Toronto has to play very solid defense right now. There's 2.4 difference on the shot clock and the game clock right now. I should say Toronto's got 20. Chicago has 21 seconds right now on the shot clock and 26.4 to go in the game. So Toronto has to play good defense. They're going to get a chance to get the ball back and come back and make the play. And you watch Isaiah Thomas looking on, took his team, made some trades. This team is now one of the youngest in the league. playing against the oldest team in the league.
And let's face it, Michael Jordan, 36 today. Here is a team with Phil Jackson as the head coach. They haven't won 3 world championships because they don't know what to do in this situation.
Oh,
They've
absolutely.
been here.
Absolutely. You know who the main player. They're going to be looking to get the ball right now, but you still have so many other options on the court. And a delay of game play by Tracy Murray stepping up so the Raptors can get a good look at what exactly Chicago Bulls are going to try to run.
Jordan, look for him to take the shot. No foul call. Jordan, Oliver has the ball at a timeout. Michael has a smile on his face, takes a look at the official. He wanted a foul.
Tracy Murray did a great job one-on-one. Oliver Miller came over to help out, read the play, forced Michael Jordan to take a very, very difficult shot. Just could not get this one to drop. See, Oliver Miller came in just in time and got a piece of the basketball, which forced Michael Jordan to throw that ball up in the air. Michael looking for the foul, but just wasn't able to get it. It looked pretty clean to me. Oliver Miller got a good piece of the basketball on that drive. Michael still pleading his case.
Now, Oliver Miller signaled timeout, but there wasn't a timeout. Before the whistle blew, Michael Jordan was called for a personal foul.
Oliver Miller getting to the free throw line right now. Oliver Miller, a 67% foul shooter.
2 crucial free throws. 21.3 seconds left. 3 fouls on Jordan. 109-108, Toronto.
Oliver Miller, you look at his concentration. He's really staying with the shot on the line. He's got his knees bent. Excellent follow through on that last free throw. That time he pulled it.
And another miss for the Raptors from the line.
You can see the difference. The first free throw, Oliver Miller follows through, puts his hand in the basket. Excellent release. The second free throw, he released the ball that pulled his hand back, and you have to stay with the shot. As a result, went hard to the back of the rim.
20.4 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Overtime could be in the offing. 109-108 Toronto. Credit this expansion team. They've had so many changes over the last month. This is a completely different team than the Bulls saw last time. Let's join John McKeechie.
Well, the last couple of timeouts, and I'm sure it's going to be the same this time, Rod. One of the things the Raptors want to ascertain is who they're going to foul if they're going to send a ball to the line. So you got the stats over there. You guys might want to check that, Leo, who they're going to foul. On the other end of the thing, of course, the ball's only going to go to one guy. He wears number 23. And then the next question will be, when are they going to take the shot? So right now, as I'm right on the Raptors huddle here, Alvin Robertson and company are discussing with Malone. They're talking fist up. The last time they did this, if they got the ball back, what they want to do is have Damon go right through the paint, stack it up down below, and then if he got the shot, he goes for it. And if he doesn't, well, of course, to dish out. That's the same way they got in the hoop a couple of minutes ago to put him ahead. Of course, Phil Jackson's very philosophical. He lets his guys talk among themselves, and then he goes back in the huddle. But this is pretty basic right now. MJ gets the ball or he doesn't.
Thanks, McKeech. As Phil Jackson, the author of Sacred Hoops, looking to pull this one out.
Well, it's amazing. Have you ever seen a team look more relaxed? With 20 seconds to go on the clock, down 1 point. Chicago, the players are sitting there, gathering their thoughts, staying cool, waiting for Phil Jackson to come back with whatever play they're going to run. Now, when you're looking at the free throw shooters, as McKeechie talked about, you have Scottie Pippen, who's only a 67% free throw shooter, and Derek Harper, a 69% free throw shooter. So both of these guys are, if you're going to go by percentages, they're the guys you want to put on the line. But also Scottie Pippen is a big game player. So you put players like that on the line, they will make their free throws. Now, Michael Jordan is the man. He's been the man, and you know that they're going to look to try to get him the basketball. Now, one of the things Toronto can do, depending on what happens, if they get the ball back after a score, if Chicago should score, you make the decision. Do you want to get the ball to timeout or push it up court, not allow one of the best defensive teams in the NBA to set up?
Raptors have 2 timeouts left. Bulls have 1. 109-108. Can the Bulls make it 7 straight wins? Jordan Kerr, 5 seconds. Pippen will have to let it go. 3. Steve Kerr. No. Jordan. Yes. But no. After the buzzer, and the Toronto Raptors have pulled it out. They've done it. The Toronto Raptors have done it. They have beaten Michael. They have beaten the Bulls. 109-108. Man, I haven't heard this place like this since the Blue Jays won the World Series.